Hello and welcome to the Voice of Youth, powered by India People blog. So today we have Yash from BOHECO, a very well-known firm that reinstated the use of cannabis, also specializing in hemp, CBD health and wellness products. Well, cannabis is a sacred herb but has almost lost its importance in society as a negative connotation. So let us know from Yash about its various positive sides only on Voice of Youth.
Hi Shivanee, nice to meet you. Nice to be speaking with you. Thank you for having me over.
I would like to verify your personal information about yourself, your introduction first.
Right. So, as a formal word of introduction, my name is Yash Kotak. I'm one of the co-founders and the chief marketing officer at the Bombay Hemp company. I predominantly look after the front end of the business, which is marketing, sales, branding, communication, etc. Apart from, of course, running Bohico, extremely passionate about football and what and the difference it can make to the society. So have a not-for-profit there as well, which kind of helps in the development of the rural sector using football as a medium. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, and I'm happy to throw more light as we move along.
Yes, obviously. So, Yesh, would you like to tell us about your journey to Boheco?
Yes. So the journey at Bohico has been quite overwhelming, to say the least, right? When we started out back in 2013 officially, in fact, the work on this space we actually began in the year 2011, but we realized that we were too young back in the day, and also we had to kind of see the real world, right, before we jumped in and created Bombay Hemp Company. So in fact, most of us founders were part of different large organizations where we were kind of just learning the tricks of the trade and just getting real world experience in our kitty. So for example, I was working in a media planning agency called Group M. One or two of my other co-founders were working with Deloitte. Another founder was working in advertising sales. So all of us,
Yeah,
yeah.
differently.
Yeah, differently. So what had happened was that we were in college itself when the idea had come to us. We actually decided what are the functions or the areas all of us will take care of. And for us to become better in those areas, we took up different corporate jobs corresponding to that area. So since I'm leading marketing and sales, I went into that field. Similarly, all the other founders also took up relevant fields in the same domain. After which, we were in those jobs till about roughly in the middle of 2012, and post that we kind of started working on understanding what is it that needs to be done for this industry and for this plant to thrive in India. We very soon realized that we are not starting a new company but a whole new industry. So it's going to take a lot of effort because you have to.
Yeah,
So,
I would like to just stop you here because our listeners want to know that which plant particularly, and would you please like to describe it more so that our listeners would get into it?
yeah, so the plant that we are talking about is cannabis, also referred to as bhang, also referred to as hemp. That's the plant we work with. We are working with the industrial and medical uses of the cannabis plant, where we are focusing on two broad categories. One is health and wellness, where we have a range of nutritional and therapeutic products for different indications and different needs of people. And the other industry we look at is the textile based industry, where we're making fibers, yarns and garments from the hemp fiber, and we also blend it with other natural fibers like cotton, linen, etc.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's the plant we work with.
Okay. The legal fog of hemp and cannabis and their derivatives are the policies constraints for the market to expand. Like, is it? How can you narrate this thing which I said?
Yeah, right. So of course, a lot of people do believe that cannabis as a plant is illegal, and of course, that's a preconceived notion that people have without reading too much into the law. The law, in fact, clearly states that if and so again, before I mention the law, I'll give another brief understanding. So, cannabis as a subject falls in the concurrent list, which means that the central government drafts the basic guidelines, but the rules and regulations are drafted by each and every state government individually, right?
Yeah.
Now keeping this in mind, the central government's guidelines that they have laid of the NDPS Act, and thereby making these parts of the plant completely legal to use for different categories and industries, across the world. But of course, that is from a cultivation standpoint. From a product regulation standpoint, different product bodies have their own rules and regulations. So, for example, if it has to be used as a food, then FSSAI needs to come up with rules. At the moment, only the Ministry of Ayush, which governs Ayurveda, has rules and regulations to use the seeds and the leaves of the plant for a range of health and therapeutic benefits. So the law is pretty straightforward. There is a clear-cut policy for one to work with cannabis, but of course, this does not include the flower bud, and that is an accessible part of the plant.
So, what are the legalities and sanctions received for the brand in the hemp category? Like,
Yeah, so they're different again. So we, as from a cultivation standpoint, we have three different research licenses with three different states. Again, all of these licenses are in partnership with CSIR slash government institutes, government scientific institutes, where we
hmm.
are conducting seed breeding programs, where we are studying the different genetics and varieties of the cannabis plant available in India. And we're breeding it for for it to produce standardized results in terms of it having low THC. THC is the psychoactive element in the cannabis plant that can give one the sense of euphoria or the high. So we're trying to make sure that the THC limit is well within the limit set by the government. So those are the research cultivation based licenses. And from a product license point of view, we have a license by the Ministry of Ayush to regulate our products as Ayurvedic proprietary medicines. So that's the license we use for our products.
So, can we say that hemp and cannabis industry in India is like a cash cow for startups?
As a cash cow, so I would say that there will be a time for it. Of course, this is a very nascent stage. It is definitely picking up. In fact, I'll go to say that in the last 1.5, 2 years, roughly, there have been more than 40, 50 startups that are working with cannabis in India that have sprung up. So it's definitely an industry that has a very high potential and very high opportunity. But for it to become a cash cow, as you mentioned, it is going to take some time for once we have the standard varieties in place, once the awareness of the plant is also grown, that's when it definitely has the potential to be a cash cow.
Mm-hmm. So, like in before we go into more details about it, can we just know the various uses of hemp which you are promoting through your company and all every
Yeah.
products you like to tell?
Yeah. So there are, like I mentioned, there are two categories. One is the health and wellness category. In that, we have products that are made from two parts of the plant. One is the hemp seeds, where we have a range of nutritional products which are known for its high protein content, high omega content, vitamin E, calcium, etc. So it's like a superfood. So that's an entire range where we have hemp seeds, hemp seed oil, hemp seed powder. And on the other end, from a health point of view, we have a range of products that are made from the cannabis leaves. So there is this therapeutic compound found in the cannabis plant called cannabinoids, which includes the likes of THC, CBD, etc. A range of compounds that kind of help in multiple functions, neurological functions. That the human body possesses. So the entire that's the entire cannabis leaf range, where we have products for, again, two categories. One is pain and the other is mental health. In pain, we have products for chronic and neuropathic pain, for arthritis pain, for skin inflammatory disorders like psoriasis, eczema, etc. And from a mental health point of view, we have a product for stress and sleep management, and very soon we're going to launch a product for anxiety as well. And on so that's the entire health and wellness side. On the other hand, we also work with the fiber of the plant, where we have our own textile based businesses, where we one brand called Hemp Fabric Lab, through which we sell fabric by the meter to designers, innovators, creators. We have a brand called Bohico Textiles, where we're working with fibers and yarns, where we supply these to big in the textile industry giants such as Raymond Mills, Arvind, Birla, etc. Where then they kind of make end products. And we have a garment and accessories line called B Label, which is a direct to consumer brand which sells hemp garments and accessories.
Wow, that was like great to know about it. We know that our globe is facing a serious threat of plastic. So, is there any chance that in future it can help replace plastic or anything like reducing carbon in the environment or anything related good for benefits for our environment?
Yeah, so cannabis as a plant is a carbon negative crop if grown properly. It requires 300 times less water than cotton to grow, right? So it anyway is a very environmentally friendly crop. Right now, in terms of its applications, there are more than 25,000 known uses of the cannabis plant, from tree-free paper to bioplastic, biofuel, food, clothing, shelter, medicine. It's a very dynamic plant, right? In fact, globally, not in India, but globally, there has been a lot of innovation that has happened in the space of bioplastic, where hemp has been used as a source. In fact, there are multiple companies in Australia that are making these compostable hemp plastic that kind of go back to the planet. So yes, very much this crop has a huge role to play when it comes to environment sustainability. And I think with enough innovation and research in the space, there definitely can be solutions that can help tackle these issues.
So, can we say that only India is using it, or there are any other countries who are investing in it to grow more?
No,
And
no,
if
yeah. Globally, in fact, it's already a $1 trillion super crop. In fact, India is late to the party, if I were to put it that way. Companies like North America, France, China, etc. These kind of countries have already made a massive industry out of it, and India is still catching up. I would say that where US, Canada was about 7 to 10 years ago, that's where India is right now. But I think once the right kind of a better policy and more research and innovation happens, we can definitely be a global powerhouse when it comes to cannabis.
wow. So advanced R&D in the space of hemp provide new prospective business decisions. We can say that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The new state players in the hemp legislation market in India, or the rivals which are coming up with the grow of hemp and cannabis, we can say in the market. Is there any rivalry in the market about it? Like one is getting the hype in the business and the other is not, because like rivalry I'm asking about with regards
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the.
got it. Yeah, no, not at all. I don't think so that the industry is large enough to focus on each other. Honestly, the efforts are very collaborated. There is a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood in the industry, where people want to work together to develop a very strong base for the industry from the science and policy point of view. So, to be very honest with you, I think we also as a company, we believe in the in the concept of collaboration versus competition. And I think because we were the first in the space, and because we've got some credible investors like Mr. Ratan Tata, etc., who have added more credibility to the industry, I do think that there is a lot of that way, because we are the first movers, there is a little more attention that definitely that we get, but again, we use it in the best interest of the industry. And in fact, we even supply our hemp as an ingredient, as a raw material, to other so-called competitors, so that they can also develop their own markets, because we firmly believe that one Bombay hemp company cannot create a new industry. It will require tens and hundreds and thousands of Bohicos for this to become a very thriving industry. So I don't think so. There is that sense of competitiveness in the category at the moment. It's more about collaboration.
So can we say that the graph of hemp use and the Boheco instantly, we can say that, is it the graph in a increasing mode from the years when you have started it?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, as they say that. Sorry, were you saying something?
like people are getting more aware about it, and like what perspectives do you use as a sailor or as a CEO of, so like more people are getting awareness about it, I'm asking that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. See, to be very honest, if I were to give you an example, back in 2013, 2014, when we launched our first products, and when we had done a survey, when we asked people what is the first thing that comes to your mind when we say cannabis clothing, people used to say a Bob Marley T-shirt, right? That was the perception. It was very myopic and limited, I would say, when it came to understanding cannabis. But over the years, and thanks to the age of hyper information, the internet, people are a lot more aware about these products. They're asking the right questions. So it is growing, and of course, because now there are so many other cannabis companies also trying to promote these products in a positive light in their own markets. It's actually, we can see that there is a turn of the tide when it comes to the perception of cannabis, and people are definitely accepting it more now than ever before.
Wow, that was like really great to hear from you, and it's very good to know that actually people are getting involved and more awareness, and thanks to internet, obviously.
Yeah.
Any last words would you like to add for our listeners?
No, again, when it comes, no, it's nothing particular, but when it comes to cannabis, of course, the plant has such an image that a lot of people, it evokes people's curiosity. People are curious; they want to read up more. In fact, globally, in the year, I think 2020 or 19, CBD was the most searched word on Google in the US. So there is a lot of traction and momentum that the industry is garnering, and there is a lot of options now that for a lot of different companies and youngsters and startup enthusiasts to venture into. But it's very important to know what is the problem that you're solving with cannabis and have a very focused approach, rather, because the plant is so dynamic. Unfortunately, all of us are not as dynamic as the cannabis plant. So yeah, that would be my parting words: to have a very focused approach and have a lot of scientific acumen in order for you to do well in this industry.
Yes, yes. It was really nice to hear from you. And I hope that our podcast will be listened by again more people, and more people will get involved and get more awareness through it.
Yes,
So,
thank you so much, and I wish you all the best for this as well.
thank you. Same to you. Wish you luck. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.